So this is the final video in the series. I've covered pretty much everything that you need to know to get started inside of Adobe Premiere Pro. But the last step is, how do we take this from Premiere and turn this into a video file? How do we export? Well, let me show you. So all you have to do to export, there's a few different ways. You've got the quick export, which is this option in the top right. So if you select quick export, you can select a file name and location. You can select a preset. So for example, match source, adaptive high bitrate, or you can add a custom setting and you just press export. Alternatively though, I like a little bit more control on the export. So I'm going to go up to File, Export, Media. And this brings up the Export Media window. Now, as you can see, this is the video clip that we have created. So this was our speed ramping effect that we created. We've got our transitions happening here. This is our flash and this is our slide transition, all the fun stuff we've done throughout this project. How do I export this? Well, this is going to be the file name. So let's call this test. You've got your location. So if you select that, you can put that anywhere you want on the drive. You've got presets here, so you can match the source with a high bit rate. You've got all of these other settings here, but let's jump into the settings so we know what we're doing moving forward. Format. 9 times out of 10, I just go for H.264. It's a fairly compressed file format that plays on most devices. I'm pretty sure it's compatible across Windows and Mac. It's pretty compressed, so the file sizes are a bit smaller than a QuickTime file, for example. But of course, if you did want to get more specific, let's say you're exporting for TV, then you may have to go into QuickTime, and then in video, you'd have to choose a ProRes 444 or 4444XQ codec. It's all just over the top, just too complicated for now. Let's just keep it simple. Let's go H.264. Then down in video, if you select more, you've got all these settings. So frame size by default is just going to be matching the source. So we'll just keep it at match source. Frame rate, field order progressive, aspect ratio, square pixels. Great, wonderful. Now we're going to select this box to render this at the maximum depth, and we're going to render at the maximum render quality. Ignore this one. This is the alpha channel. Don't worry about it. Time interpolation will keep at frame sampling. We've talked about this briefly before in a previous video about how the computer interpolates the data between each different frame, but just keep it at frame sampling. Then we'll come down to bitrate settings. I'm going to set this to CBR and go for 50. And as you can see, the estimated file size is going to be 67 megabytes. That is for the entire source. Now, if you wanted just a specific section, by the way, then you can go to custom. Let's say we just want this clip going through to here. You just select an in point and an out point, and now you can see the estimated file size is 19 because we're only exporting this gray section. But I want the full video. So let's go entire source, scrub through, make sure we've got everything we need. And if we increase the target bit rate, the megabits per second, to a higher number of 240, you can see the estimated file size is now 324. If we drop that down to 0.19, it's now 691 kilobytes. So this is a sliding scale. The higher the number, the better the quality, but the higher the file size. The lower the number, you guessed it, lower file sizes, but lower quality. So I would find a number that you're happy with. Generally, for most projects, I stick somewhere between 40 to 100. For client work, I keep that closer to 100, but if they do need something a little bit more compressed, then I'll pull that down more to 50. You'll see the difference immediately if you export one at 10 and one at 100. You can see the compression coming through on 10. So if you want to preserve the detail from your export, then have a higher one, but just know that the file size will be a little bit larger. But of course, if you need that smaller file size, then you can pull this slider down. Moving on, we've got audio. Make sure this is enabled. If you've got audio format, we can keep at AAC, sample rate 48,000. This is great. If you've got captions, you can enable these. We've talked about captions before, but we did convert those to a graphic rather than a caption, so therefore this wouldn't be required. Effects, you can add in some post-process effects here, so some tone mapping, Lumetri looks, timecode overlays, all of this good stuff here. But 9 times out of 10, probably not going to need it. You can bake in some metadata into the file, so you can embed in the output file, you can add start timecode, you can add markers, all of this fun stuff. But again, 9 times out of 10, not going to need it. So now we're just going to go down to the bottom right. We've got send to media encoder, which is great if you've got multiple videos that you need to export. So if you've got 10 videos, for example, rather than manually exporting them all, you can queue them up into encoder, which is a different piece of software, but it's included in the Adobe suite. Or alternatively, if you've just got this one project, then you just press export and then Premiere will do its thing. It will encode this, give you an estimated time until completion. Obviously, longer, bigger projects are going to take longer. Shorter clips, this is a 10-second video, so it's taken 20 seconds or so. But there you go. That is how you export your videos from Adobe Premiere Pro. And that is the end of this course. So thank you ever so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I really hope this has helped you. And if it has, then please do let me know in the comment section below. If there's anything that you're not sure about, if there's anything missing, please let me know again in that comment section below. And I'll see if I can make a video covering it, or at least jump into the comments to answer those questions. So thanks again. I appreciate the support, and please consider subscribing if this was useful at all. See you on the next one.